today's video, I'm going to share with you a script that you can use in your scenarios where you can call a helicopter to drop a squad of paratroopers at your location using Shuko's Paratroops script. We're going to start off by creating a little scenario. So we're going to collapse this list. We're going to go to NATO, Pacific, and then down to men, and then we're going to choose a rifleman, and we're going to place our rifleman right about here. And we're going to right click him and edit his loadout, and we're going to load up a loadout that I have for this, and this is going to be our loadout. Hit OK, and that's all we need to do for the player. Next, we're going to go to triggers, and we're going to choose a trigger without a size and put that in front of the player. I'm going to double click that, and we're going to go to trigger activation, and we're going to set this to radio alpha. This is going to be a radio trigger. We're going to set it to repeatable, and then we're going to go to the top here where it says text, and we're going to type in paratroopers. So this is all we need to do for the moment with our trigger. We'll come back to it and add some more stuff. Next, we're going to save our scenario, clicking on the save icon, and we're going to save this on to Noah, and we're going to name this call paratroopers. So now that our scenario is saved, we're going to go to the top left where it says scenario, click on that, and then go down to where it says open scenario folder. Now that we're in our scenario folder, I have a copy of the script right here in another scenario. I'm going to press Control-C to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it right into the scenario itself. I'm going to zip up this script, and I'm going to link it in the description of the video for download. Once you get it, unzip the zip file, and once you get the script, you're going to put it into your scenario folder just like I did here. So once you have that, let's double click the script and open it with Notepad or Notepad++, and let's review the script. So this is Shuko's Paratroops script. This was created by Shuko, and there are a few comments that I added to the script and some other functions which I'll go over. So let's start with the syntax. These two things are basically what is going to be used inside the editor itself. So this is what's going to call the script. Is you're going to copy this, just highlight it and press Control-C, and then we're going to go in game and we're going to paste this into the trigger, put this in the player's variable name box. So let's go do that right now. All right, back in the editor, double click the trigger and edit the trigger, and then in on the activation box, you're going to press Control-V, and that's going to add the code that's going to call the script. While we're in here, just press space after the semicolon, and we're going to add a hint. So let's type in hint space quote, the paratroopers are on the way, exclamation point, end quote, and then semicolon. So what that's going to do is when you trigger the trigger, call for the paratroopers, this hint's going to pop up to let you know that the paratroopers are on the way. So it's it gives you feedback. All right, once you have that, just hit OK. Let's go to the player now, and in his variable name box, you're going to type the following: target highs. Once you have that, hit OK. Just hit save to save your progress, and let's go back to the script. We have added this code to the trigger. We've added this to the player's variable box, and that sets up the trigger. Now let's go over some of the code. I'm going to scroll down to where I added some comments, and we're going to go to this line right here, line 35. So I added this comment: distance of the transport spawn and set randomly at 360 degrees around the player or position. This right here is the distance of how far away the helicopter that will spawn from your position or a position you choose with target pause, which you could put in the player's variable box like we did, or you can put it into an object. Now this random 360 means the helicopter is going to spawn randomly around target pause or the player in a 360 degrees circle. You can change this, or you can change the degrees to, like, say, let's say it's 90 degrees, and if you're in the game and you're facing north, 90 degrees would be east, so he would come from your right. Now if we scroll down to the next line, line 39, class name of transport, type, and faction of the transport. So right here, in between the quotes, is the class name for the helicopter, which you can get in game and change to whatever you want. This is the faction of this transport. So right now it's west, which is blue 4. So let's go back in game and get the class name for this helicopter. Back in the editor, we're going to put this on F1 for units, and then we're going to collapse this, go to NATO and helicopters, and we're going to grab a UH-80 Ghost Hawk, put them right here. So if you want a particular helicopter to drop off your paratroops, then just place the helicopter that you want and then click on it so it's highlighted, right click it, and then go down to where it says log classes to clipboard. And once you do that, it'll log the class name of the helicopter, which you need to put into the script. So let's do that. So we got the class name, and let's go back to the script now. Okay, let's go back to the line and just highlight the existing class name that's already there. And what you do is press Control V, which will paste the class name in between the quotes. Let's go to the next line, line 44. And this one is the height of the transport to drop to spawn group. So if you look at this, the height is this. This is 100 meters off the ground. This can be kind of finicky, I think, because the last time I tested with a higher number, the helicopter just stopped where he was supposed to and just hovered there and then dropped the paratroops. So I found that 100 meters off the ground worked fine. So you could try to make the height higher if you wanted to, but I don't think it's really necessary. Let's go down to line 49, faction and group of paratroopers that spawn. Now this is going to be the most important part of this code for you aside the helicopter. So this code here is from the CFG groups, and this is going to be the squad, this class name right here. This is a class name of a squad that is going to spawn and get into the helicopter, and then this is what the helicopter is going to drop off, and basically paratroop. And then this calls the spawn group function. Let's change this to something else. We could keep it as the west, but I'm going to show you in game how to get a squad. We're going to delete this, and then what you're going to do to get a group is you're going to go to tools, and then you're going to go down to where it says config viewer. Click on that and the config viewer will open up. So on the left side here, what you're going to look for is CFG groups. So once you get to CFG groups, you're going to double click the line, which will expand it. Since we're on the west side, what you could do is you can click either one of these and it'll tell you what faction side it is. So if you click on west here, then in the box it'll say name blue 4. So this is blue 4. Then you have independent, you have empty, which is compositions and objects and stuff, and then you have east, which is OP4. So we're going to go to west, double click west. That'll expand even more. And if you click on one of these and you're not totally sure what it stands for, then just look at it in the box. So this is CTRG, this is NATO, this is NATO Pacific, NATO Woodland, the Gendamir, and the Gorilla. So what we're going to do is we're going to choose a, since we're on Tanoa, we're going to call up a Blue Forest CTRG squad. So what we need to do is double click this and expand it. It'll expand, and then double click it again to expand it. And you're going to choose between a team that you want. So you got infantry squad, infantry sentry, infantry squad, infiltration. So you can look at the list here. So it says the name of the squad. It says fire team, light, sentry squad, rifle squad, and then you got a fire team. So let's choose a infantry squad. Once you do that, what you need to do is you go down to this line here and you just copy this. Just copy all the way up to the quotes. And then press Control C, and then let's go back to this script and then I'll show you how to add it. Back at line 50, right here, you're going to go on the outside of these quotes here, and you're going to highlight all the way up to the end quote right here, and then you're going to press Control V. This whole line here just has the blue CTRGF infantry, CTRG infantry squad. So that's basically all you need to do to add a custom squad. This works for mods too. You just have to find the CFG groups and the mods that you have loaded and choose the group that you want. All right, let's go to the next comment down, which is line 54. And this is the distance of how far away the paratroopers get dropped from the player. And basically, this is the distance here, 100 meters. You can increase this if you want, or you can decrease it. I found 100 works pretty good, so we're going to stick with that. Initial drop is basically the initial drop. This is the parachute that the paratroopers will have on their back and that we'll be using. You don't really need to mess with any of this. Right here, here's a comment that I added. Distance of how far away the transport gets deleted. So basically, when the helicopter comes and drops off the paratroopers, he's going to turn around and fly back to his original. And this distance, this is 2,000 meters. He's going to fly away about 2,000 meters and then delete. So he will be deleted. He won't be anywhere on the map, and that's it. And if we scroll down even more, this says wait until troops have landed. Nothing you have to worry about with this. And then this comment here, search and destroy waypoint that will cycle for the dropped paratroopers. So I added this code. So when the paratroopers get dropped, they will move to a waypoint and perform a SAD, which is search and destroy. And then once they perform that search and destroy, then they will cycle it, and that's it. Click on the save icon to save all your changes, and let's go back into the scenario and test out our paratroopers. Alright, back in the editor, let's test out the scenario. Alright, here we are. So what you're going to do now is you're going to press 0 on your keyboard and then scroll down to where it says radio and then hit enter, and you should see paratroopers at the top. So let's click that, and it should say the paratroopers are on the way and a hint. And if you want to know where they are at, what they look like, because we don't know which direction they're coming from, just press escape, you go to spectator, and then you can go up to the top here and click on one of these names and go to here they come. So the paratrooper should be right up here. Here they are. Helicopter's going to turn around and fly back to where he came from, and he's going to go to about 2,000 meters out, which is pretty far, probably just over that ridge. Yep, and he deleted. Alright, so here's the paratroopers. Let's get a closer look at them. And what these guys are basically doing is now they're doing a search and destroy. So So they're just roaming around and they're just kind of checking the area. Let's go back to the editor. So now we know how that works. Let's try another idea. How do we set this up for the enemy? So let's say we have a situation where the enemy has like a cache or something at their base. Let's go to units and then props, and then let's type in ammo, and let's put an FIA ammo cache. Let's just put it right here, and we're going to name this cache, and that's it for that. Let's move our guy to right about here, and move the trigger to for now. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to F5, and then we're going to go to Intel, and then we're going to create a task. So we'll create a task and edit the task. The owner is going to be Blue4. Let's give it a title. Destroy cache would be good. So let's destroy cache, and then in the description we'll say locate and destroy the enemy cache at their base. Okay, and we don't need the module position, that's fine. This is going to be created, task title. Let's see, let's give a destroy icon, that's fine, and that should set up the task. Next, we're going to set the set task state module down and then connect it to the create task. We're going to double click it, and then we're going to go to succeeded, and that's all we need to do with that part. And then we're going to take the trigger and I'm going to put it right about here, and we're going to sync the trigger to the set task state module, and then we're going to edit the trigger in the condition alive, and then the name of the cache, which is cache. So that's all we have to do for that. We're going to adjust a hint, and let's see, we'll say enemy paratroopers are on the way. That's fine for that, and this is going to be not repeatable, and the activation is going to be nothing. This doesn't make any difference anymore, and then just hit OK. So that should set that up. So what's going to happen now is this is going to be destroyed, and what it's going to do is it's going to set off this trigger, which is going to call enemy reinforcements. Alright, in order to have our enemy is we're going to go to F1, and we're going to go to 04, we're going to go to CSAT, and then we're going to go to helicopters, and we're going to choose a helicopter that the Pacific squad is going to come from. So let's put down an Orca over here. Alright, so this is what they're going to come in, an Orca. So just click on that, go down to where it says log, and then log class names to clipboard, and that copies the class name of the helicopter to the clipboard. Let's go back into the script, and we have to add the helicopter class name to the script. Back up to line 39, and we're going to go to the class name here, and we're going to press Control V, and that's going to paste the Orca helicopter class name. We have to also change the faction side, which is going to be East. So we're just going to type in East, and that saves that. Next, we're going to scroll down, and we're going to go to faction and group of paratroopers that will spawn. So we have to change the config for this, including this. Alright, so let's go back in game and grab the code for that. Back in the editor, let's go to Tools and then to Config Viewer, and then let's scroll down. So this is what we left off with. We're going to change this to East. So let's click on East, double click East. That'll close the West category. And then let's choose a side that we want. So we want CSAT Pacific. Double click that, and we'll go to Infantry. And let's put down an infantry squad. This will be a rifle squad. And that sets that up. So we have config file, CFG groups, East, infantry. So we'll just highlight all this, press Control C, and once you have that, just let's go back to the script. We can close this. All right, back in the script, back to line 50, and you're going to highlight everything right here and change this line to the one we just captured. Press Control V, and this will change it to the east side. Before we save it, we have to actually change this right here to east, and that make sure that's east, and that's all set up. So after you have that, let's just save it, and let's go back in game and test it out. All right, let's test it out. All right, before we destroy this cache, let's go to the map. Here is the task that we created: destroy cache, locate and destroy the enemy cache at their base. All right, let's destroy the cache, and let's hit escape. Go to spectator. Coming from over here. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed that. I think that script could be tweaked a little bit. You could probably add something to it that will make the paratroopers basically seek out the player and then, you know, attack them. Right now they're just set at search and destroy for SAD, but I think you could expand where they paradrop even more with that. So anyways, hope you like that, and hope you find this useful, at least for the friendlies. I want to thank you guys for watching, and for more codes and scripts, check out this playlist.